All right, so in today's practice session, I am going to be playing on this Stomvi. I forget what model it is. Stomvi Elite. And this has been retrofit with the VGR. I put the VGR on here because I like the way this horn played and the way it sounded, and I could see it with a lot of potential to do more. So the VGR is going to allow me to adjust flexibility, slotting, airflow, resonance, and we'll play with that a little bit. I have my personal set of inserts here. I don't have the full library that I have normally at the shop. And right now I'm just going to pull one out, put it in there, and start playing. So I'm going to start with the number 8. And get that out of there. Let's see, these are a 344 set. So we'll start with the number 8, which means 80 thousandths of gap. I just pop that on the end, and then screw the receiver back down. There we go. All right. And I'm just going to pick up with the same mouthpiece I played yesterday. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it doesn't really much matter for this video or this session. And today, I'm going to introduce you to another book that I'm going to start working out of. This one is New Concepts for Trumpet, and it's etudes, duets, and studies. I also have in this bound section 20 dances for trumpets, or for trumpet, not trumpets. And I also have all 3 of the Vizzuti method books, which we'll get into as well. So I'm just going to start right at the beginning, warm up and smooth tones. So this is just triplets. It's a warm up. I normally don't really warm up, but I'm just doing this exercise to get us going. And that last note is a half note. It's held, and I didn't do it correctly, so I'll do it correctly this time. So it is marked fortissimo, everything's accented. I'm playing it that way. I'm going to oil my valves. Just so you know, I'm not just smashing the notes for the fun of it. It's what it says. And I think Vizzuti put that in there just to really get blood in your lips, you know? So you really get the blood flowing, and that's really important when you start playing. Here's number 2. Continue doing these. I'm going to skip through and play number 3, which says with a beautiful sound, and it starts out pianissimo to mezzo forte. And it just continues this. So my theory, I think I may have heard Alan Vizzuti actually talk about the beginning of this book in the past, but I think what he's really trying to do is just get your lips moving and start to think about the dynamics and think about making music and be melodic. We started with this harsh stuff, now we move into the smooth stuff. I'm going to jump all the way over to the next page, number 7. can cut this. I'm going to move on. And we're just going to do a bunch of cuts and fly through this book. So now we're on page 10 in the Vizzuti book. It says Reading Enhancement Studies. I'm going to just play number 1. Oscar, hey puppy. Oscar is very excited because I gave him a bone, and now he wants to play with this chicken. But you're making a lot of noise, man. So, hey, go over there. Go make noise over there. They're just rhythm studies. It'd be good to do these with the metronome. And I like these rhythm studies because they start with the basics and they work their way up. That was number 10. Okay, and we're going to cut again. I'm going to jump to a different section. So those were the triplets on page 39. I like to do those different speeds. I'm doing ta 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 ka ta. However, I recommend practicing ta ta ka ta ta. So TTK or TKT. Or if you use D's or G's or whatever syllable you want to use. There's a lot of controversy over that. But I like to practice both ways. And I like to do them soft and louder. I really like to make the low ones big and bold. I'm just going to do number 4 as well on page 39. Now, I'm halfway through the exercise. I'm going to try to speed it up. Almost out of air. It's actually really hard for me anyhow to play really fast, double and triple tonguing really low. So I push myself there. Let's see what I can find. So now I am playing Promenade, which is really the first etude in the book. So that was Promenade. I have not played that, of course, in like 8 or 9 years, or who knows how long. So I'm just reading it again. And what I would say is, if I were to do it all again, I'd play it slower. It says slowly, quarter note equals 98. I just played those triplet studies and I just flew into this thing, so I was too fast. It's very lyrical, it's marked with some dynamics, but mostly mezzo piano to mezzo forte. And if I could do it all again, which I will next time, then I would take breaths, maybe in a couple different spots, especially at the end there where I really blew it. The next one, number 2, is Tom Tom. That was Tom Tom. Smart Marcato. I thought there would be more tricky parts to it. I didn't look through it before I played it. Actually, everything about it is super easy, so I should have focused more on the accents, which would sound more like a tom-tom, you know, like an actual Indian drum. So again, I kind of blew it. This time, I'm going to try to do it right. I'm going to play number 3. It's called the harp. All right, it's 94 quarter note. Looks like a very lyrical piece that has some wide interval leaps, or wider. Because of that, I'm going to pull off my receiver and I'm going to change to something that gives me more flexibility. So you can see I've pulled that off, and now I'm going to take this insert off right there. And this is the Venturi gap receiver, the VGR. And out of my insert kit, I'm just going to grab a smaller insert, one that gives me more flexibility. So I'm going to go to a number 2. All right, and I dropped. Put that on there, and that should reduce the amount of slotting I have and really increase the amount of flexibility that I feel. We'll see if that's true. This starts out piano. It's got C, G, C as the first 3 intervals, so we're going to be doing a lot of this. It looks like an octave to an octave and a fourth span of melodic. Mostly, most of the motifs are going up. All right, well, I think it was a decent read. Whew. I wasn't ready for that long of phrasing. I really didn't know where to take breaths, so I would take more time to mark in some breath marks. And this must have been easy for me in the past because I don't have any markings in my own handwriting. I do have it earmarked, which means I probably like to play it. But I must have known what I was doing back then when I played it last. So my thoughts on this, there's a section that's a double bar on measure 26. I definitely probably would have taken more time, just have more silence. And it's not marked this, but I think I would probably, as that motif at bar 26 starts to go down a couple times rather than up, I would probably really treat this more like a development and get more exciting, especially with dynamics. And there's a lot of articulation markings. I tried to follow them just as they're written. Legatos, slurs, really no accents, obviously. So that was number 3. All right, so next I'm going to be playing out of the 20 dances for trumpets. And I am practicing my Arbins and my Charlier as well during my practice routine, but tonight I'm not playing any of those. I'm going to set that aside. I did play a little piano earlier, and now I'm going to go straight to this book of what are really fun tracked dances. And I don't have the CD track with me right now, so I'm just going to read through the first one, and that'll be it for this session. But it's called Cowboy Dance. Looking at it right now, man, the print is smaller and it looks difficult. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here. I'll do my best. Got through it. So that is Cowboy Dance. I'm guessing it goes a lot faster, probably something like this. That's kind of fun. So I have some stuff to work out. I can see how this piece could be really fun, moving a lot faster. It's marked quarter note is 148. I don't have a metronome here, but I think it is. pretty fast. So I'm going to work that up as part of my routine, and then I'll move on to the next song in this book. So that's all I have for you tonight. I hope that you're out there practicing and striving to get better, and you're giving yourself a balance of scales and arpeggios and real studies on the technical stuff, and then mixing in lyrical things, challenging etudes of different styles. And next time we most likely will get into the Vizzuti books, where we really start to play exercises in other tonalities outside of what Arvin did. So not major and minor, but rather modes and actual more advanced chords. So we'll get into that, and I'll see you next time.